sermon really touched you the most that you can relate
Well,
to?
I love two things that touched me was the song. That was one. And it spoke to me directly. It was for me that I need to get more into God for prayer. And that's my connection with it. But it was a fabulous, inspiring, spiritual sermon.
So, another part is the name facing the wall. Like, what can you relate to when you're facing that wall that you're talking about?
Because we have, as we go on our journey in our Christian journey, we need to go and block everything else and spend more time with God, facing the wall. And by us facing the wall, the only thing we see is God and what He has for us.
So after the last part, what was the most uplifting part, your favorite part of the whole sermon?
I don't know if there was a favorite part, but the whole part was a blessing to me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I would like to ask you, what part did you get in the sermon that was most relatable to you?
You know what? Believe it or not, the title of the sermon, Facing the Wall. And it's taking away all the distractions so that we can really concentrate on God and who He is, and that He's able to do everything we need and ask of Him. Yeah, that was awesome.
I would like to ask you, have you been facing the wall this week? Have you been facing the wall this week?
Oh, you know what? In some instances in my life, literally, I think I've been pushed to the wall. But now I'm willingly facing the wall and just asking God for some help. Yeah. So it's a good place to be. It's not a punishment. It's a good place to be. Yeah, it was a wonderful worship experience today.
For my last question, I would like to ask you, what was the most uplifting part of the sermon? You understood the most and...
Oh, wow. I think that what was most uplifting is the fact that the Spirit of the Lord used His manservant to really bring a timely message, a clear message, and a practical message. So that was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time, and thank you for doing this. Happy Sabbath.
What was the most relatable part of the sermon to you? You could relate to.
That I could ask God anything. That I could ask God to relate, to do anything for me. I could reach out and press that button and speak to God anytime, like Hezekiah did when he faced the wall.
Alright, so I'd like to ask you this. What is your way of facing the wall? How do you do it?
Getting on my knees. Spending my time alone in my car, at home, talking to God throughout the day.
So I'd like to ask you this. What was the most uplifting part of the sermon? What was your favorite part? No other parts compared to yours.
I loved it all. He had my attention. I loved it all. There was no favorite part. I like when he hits down in the soul to let you know that God is speaking to you.
Alright, thank you.
Thank you.
What was your what in the sermon was your most relatable part?
The most relatable part was like not turning to God first and trying to do it alone, trying to like figure it out, plan it, thinking we can like plan our way around the situation, around the problem, instead of just turning to God who ultimately resolves it. So yeah.
I want to ask you this. This sermon, what was like your favorite part? You know, it's like you
Favorite part?
What that caught your attention the most?
When he stood up and turned around and faced the wall.
Okay.
I like that part. Yeah.
Alright, so I would like to, for your last question on how do you face the wall?
Do I face the wall?
Yeah.
Just like stopping, turning off distractions, in my car, turn my music off, I'm at home, put my phone down, like God, I can't do it without you, and crying out to God.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Like normally when you're making something and you're writing it down, what part did you think like that was just gonna get everyone and get them all excited and into it, your sermon?
Yeah, so sometimes when I'm writing a sermon, I may not really know exactly what parts that will get people going. But my job is to be diligent. By diligence, I mean I have to study the scripture. I need to understand what it means. And there are what you call primary and secondary sources when you're preparing a sermon. The primary source is the Bible, right? But there are secondary sources which are like concordances and other books that inform you or give you more meaning of the scripture. So I take my time, spend my time studying the Bible, but also studying the other sources and make sure that my part as a pastor and as a preacher is to give it 100%.
What inspired you to do sermons?
To write sermons?
Yeah.
Well, it's me personally is God's faithfulness to my life. So it's my personal story as to how God has been so faithful to me. So because of His faithfulness, my life's purpose is to serve God in any way possible. And I believe my calling is pastoring and preaching. So it's the faithfulness of God and the mercifulness of God in my life that inspired me to do what I'm doing.
So I already asked you 2 questions. It's the last one.
Sure.
You were just talking about how close you are to God. I want actually what got you close to God.
What got me closer to God is a matter of time, right? Because different people get close to God in different ways. Mine is through my life story, where God has taken me to, and even the times I've stumbled, right? When you look at your stumbles and look at the good times and the bad times, and you begin to put everything together, that basically is what drew me closer to God. Because I'm looking at it to say, hey, I made some mistakes, but God forgave me. I don't always get it right, but God always forgives me. God always restores me. So that's basically what it is.
All right, thank you, man. All right.
Thanks for the interview.